Alright, hello everybody. I'm here to start creating some mobile videos for you in Unreal Engine 4 so we can start that right off. The first thing we're going to go over is how to set up a start screen and instruction screen using widgets. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll launch our engine here. I'm going to create a new project and show you the easiest way of setting up your project for mobile devices. So go ahead and click launch here. And while that's launching up, here we go. It's generally pretty quick. Okay, we'll go to new project. And we don't actually want any starter content. So what we got to do is go down here, no starter content. Change the quality to scalable 3D or 2D. And then click right here, mobile or tablet. This will help configure the project settings and things like that, so we don't have to change as many options within the actual game engine itself. I'm going to start off, I think, with a 2D side scroller, just so we have a character in there by default, because I'm not actually going to be going over how to put the character in there and stuff. You should be pretty familiar with that process already. So yeah, just so we have a character, we'll do a health bar, and maybe a stamina bar. So when the character jumps, things like that, the stamina is reduced. That way you can add maybe climbing, things like that. So we'll give it a name. Let's do mobile UI tut for UI tutorial, and we'll go ahead and create that. Alright, and we are in. And as you can see, we got a 2D project set up. 2D projects are pretty self-explanatory. You set up a collision on objects, place your character in there, which is, of course, a sprite that you recorded. If you think about like the old Mortal Kombat games, those were actually 2D, just flat images that were in there, and they just recorded the animations in a 3D program and brought it in as sprites. So let's get started. Go over to content and expand our thing here. And in the content folder, I want to create a new folder. And the new folder will be our name. My last name is Whitworth, so Whitworth underscore tutorial, and that'll kind of be our home for all of our add-ons and things like that. So another folder, we'll call this one widgets, and this should be all we need for now. And we're going to go ahead and create a new widget. So right click, go down to user interface, widget blueprint, and let's name this guy main widget. Main underscore widget, that works. Go ahead and save. Get rid of that little star and open that up. Okay, so first things first, let's create our main menu screen. I think that'll be good. So we can, right inside the canvas panel, we'll drop down the panels, and first we'll want a vertical box. Drop that down right there. So now we have our vertical box. We'll click size to content, and don't worry, we'll be putting stuff in there. And then now we want we're probably going to need a few horizontal boxes, but we'll go ahead and just stick with that one for now. And then a text right inside that horizontal box, and then grab your vertical box, anchors, and click the center, and then click these two yellow things here by the position X and position Y, and that will actually help center our little guy here. It's off to the side a little bit. We will fix that. You can, well, if you want to now, you could just do 0.5 in alignment, and that'll put it right in the center. And let's do health game. That's the name of the game. We'll go up the text a little bit here. That's good. Okay, now we want another horizontal box inside the vertical box. Do that, then drop another text in there. This one we'll do play. Actually, let's get rid of that, and we'll put a button inside there. And put a button inside the horizontal box. And then what we want to do is grab an overlay, put the overlay on the button, and then we want to put a text on the overlay. Now this text right here, we'll go ahead and type in play, and we'll just bring up the size a little bit, not too much, just enough, you know. And we'll do the same exact thing again. So just to keep these going, button underscore box, just to keep the naming conventions going here. And actually what we can do is just straight up add another button to the horizontal box here, the button box. So we'll go there, overlay, and then a text. The text on this one we'll call exit. And let's grab our text here. What size? We did 69 for the size. We'll do the same size for this one. And then what we can do is grab our button and click fill. Grab our other button and fill. So it's kind of split up here. If we want a space in between them, what we can do is put a, where are you? There's a spacer. We could just drop another horizontal box in there. Move it up. And transform. Oops, one. And then just put the scale up a little bit. It's not working. Where are you? An option for it in here. I know there is. I am doing this dry, so if I there it is. I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll grab the spacer, drop that guy in, and move that spacer up, and we'll jack up the Y just a little bit, and health game text. Let's see. There we go. Make a nice big one for our mobile, because remember this is on mobile, so it's either gonna be on a small screen or a tablet. So yeah. Oh, I also should have you know that this is for landscape view. If you want portrait view, all you have to do is set the custom screen size. You can set it up right here. If you have one of these devices, you can click it for portrait and landscape, things like that. Okay, so click on the button where we attach the play text, and this will be called play btn. And we'll do the same exact thing here. Exit btn for button, and make sure that is variable is checked on for both of these. We definitely want this to be a variable. So we'll go ahead and drop this, and rename this entire thing main underscore menu, and make sure that is also a variable. Compile, save, just so we have that. And let's go ahead and set this guy up. We'll set up the buttons so it's playing and going up on the screen. Alright, first things first here, we get the main menu, and we want it to be visible, of course. So yes, so go ahead over to your graph, and you'll see we have exit button, main menu, and play button. Okay, so what we want to do is click the play button. Then you'll see, if you scroll all the way down in the details panel, you'll see on clicked. So we can go ahead and do that. There's also on press and on released. It depends on, I believe it depends on the device that you're exporting it to, whether or not on clicked and on pressed will work. But we will test it out with on clicked. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for exit button, on clicked. The exit button is extremely easy. Just drag off here and type in quit game. And that's all that needs. The quit preference, but actually quit, because we don't want it just to load in the background. We want it to actually quit. Okay, so we got our play button here. So what we want to do is grab our main menu, get, set visibility, hidden, and that is all we will do for right now. As far as the graph goes, there's a little bit more, but we have to set other things up first. So go ahead and minimize this, and then open up our level blueprint. Okay, so first thing, we want to event begin play. I'm going to do this in here for now. We'll probably end up changing this after. Create widget, and then under class we want to select our main widget, and then drag off return value, add to viewport, and that should be that. I don't believe we actually need an owning player. So now let's do our mobile preview. And this will load up for us. I apologize, it's taking a little bit, but I'll get here. I'll cut this part out. Okay, so we got our game up here. Oh, and it looks like I made a mistake. I actually forgot to make the cursor visible, which of course we don't need it visible for on the mobile, because we'll be using our finger for the mobile. But it's good to have for testing purposes, so we'll just temporarily add that. But if I hit play, it'll actually hide it. And of course, if I hit exit, it would do the same. I'll do preview in editor, and if I click exit, it closes it out. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and grab this guy. Get player controller. Drag off here. Show mouse. Set show mouse cursor. Just plug that in right before it. Show mouse cursor. And then in our main widget, just to get rid of it after, we'll get player controller again. And set show mouse cursor. And we will make that false after we actually hit the play button. That way, our cursor shows up, but if we hit the play button, it's oh, okay. You just have to click again. But there it is. Okay. So now let's actually edit what we created here to add another button, and this button will actually bring up a new window for instructions on how to actually play your game. So we'll go into our button box here, and we will do the same thing we did before. We'll add a button, and then add an overlay to that button, and then add a text. This text will be called instructions. And these are 69, so I'll make it the same thing. And let's actually have it in the middle. So click your button and click this little arrow over here, and I'll switch them. And we want to click on the button of the instructions button we just added. And I'm going to do INST button. And make sure it is variable. And now we will create our new menu first before we go ahead and move up. So drop down the main menu, click on the canvas panel, and we will create a vertical box and drop it on the canvas panel, not the main menu. And then to get the main menu out of the way, just toggle that little eyeball there and that'll get rid of it. So now we'll just name this instructions, and we want that to be a variable also. Okay, so we'll do the same thing we did before. Anchor, center, click these off, and then for alignment, 0.5 and 0.5, so it's directly in the center, and then click size to content. So now we want a horizontal box right here, and then we will do text inside that. And let's go ahead and say instructions, and we'll make this guy, make that guy pretty big. Okay. So now let's do the same thing, add another one to the instructions. Text. Okay, and we'll go ahead and just type what we want in here. Push A and D to move. And pretty much you could just keep doing the same thing. If you want the justification in the center, you could do that. We could click fill, and that will put it in the center for us. We can add our spacer if we want to, and then go ahead and move that up in between them. And we'll just bump this. Okay, why is it? Oh, I did the wrong one, I'm sorry. Just do this at 1. Okay, so we got our spacer there with push A and D to move. If we want another one that's below it, we can go ahead and add another horizontal box. We can add it to this one if we want to, and to organize them. You know, do something like this. Call this one instruction box. So this is where all of the instructions go in, and we can actually drop the text right in that one. Click fill, and then this will be the first line. And we could just keep going like that. We can add more text to this guy if we want to, but I mean, this is pretty much the basics of it. So now we want a way to actually either go return to the main menu, or actually go into the game. I think we'll do a return to the main menu, just to make things a little bit easier on ourselves. So we've got this and this. We'll drop this down. Instructions box. So we'll put the button right in the instructions box. We'll have it down at the bottom here. Excuse me. So let's add another horizontal box. We will add a button to it. Actually, no. Let's just straight up add that to the instructions, so it's down here. And then we'll add. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's add an overlay first. You can add text directly on it, but I like adding the overlay, so if I want an image, I can set up the order of all of them. So let's add this guy, return, and the button will just do fill. I don't really like fill. I do want it to be in the center. So there's that. Let's boost up this font, and we'll boost this font a little bit more too. There we go. And if we want to, we can add a few spacers in there. Actually, I'll just copy. And paste. Let's just drag another one in. That's a little bit easier. I want this guy in here. Interesting. Not working the way it's supposed to be. Oh, because I'm putting it. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Well, that will work, but we'll just... I'm interested why this is not working here. This should be a vertical box. Oh, oh, I'm silly. Okay. I wasn't really thinking. Go into instructions, and then okay, I don't want it actually in it. Okay, so we'll just separate them like this. Size. There we go. And if as you add more text to this and more, you just keep adding the horizontal boxes and add the text if you want it, directly in line with each other. Or you could just do one big text block inside one horizontal box and type everything out. But for now, this is what we'll do. So we'll make this return btn. Make sure it is a variable. And then we will drop everything down here. So basically what you'll see is that overlapping this guy right here. So let's go compile, save, and go into our graph. Okay, so now let's set up all of our buttons here. We'll click on our instruction button, on-clicked, and we will do this right here. And we want our main menu to be hidden. And let's take a look here. Instructions is variable. Okay. And we want our instructions get I'm sorry, to duplicate, click on it, hold control and hit W, and it will actually duplicate nodes. And then we want this visible. And for the return button, we're going to do the same exact thing, but reversed. Connect these guys, make sure main menu is visible and instructions is hidden. And let's do our return button, on clicked. Put those together. And make sure that that is working. But there is one thing we need to do. Click on your instructions. And then set the default visibility to hidden. Compile, save, and let's try it out. So play, click on instructions. It goes over to our instructions. Click return. That's good. And exit. Alright, so now, if you noticed, our gameplay screen is actually showing up behind our instructions, or our title screen. Let's not have that happen. So we'll click exit, and we'll actually pop an image in our main menu to show up. So it looks a little nicer. I'm going to use, I think, maybe a texture for this. But we will see. Let's set it up here and see where that goes. Okay, so what we want to do, how do I want to do this? Let's create a new be easier if you did it first. That way everything kind of went through. Let's test it out and see what we get here. So we got our vertical box within this other box. Let's add our image. So we'll scroll up to common, drop the image in there. And see, yeah, this isn't actually not going to work. So delete that, and we will set this up a bit differently. So let's create another vertical box, but drop it in the canvas panel. Click that, and we'll anchor it to the center. Do everything like we did before. Click, click, 0.5, 0.5. Okay, now let's drop an image in there. Image, vertical box. And we've got our image. So now let's drop an overlay on that image. And then we'll click and drag the main menu. Oh dear, okay, we want. Okay, so images cannot have children. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's test this out then. Anyways, just to see. So let's grab a 2D background just because. Um, Ground tile. Sure, we'll hit size to content. Done. Fill it up. And then Z order. Okay. Okay. So the higher the order number, that's the one that's going to be placed on top. So we'll go ahead and keep this guy where he is, but we will rename it background. If I can spell it right, background img. Let's make it a variable. Compile, save. Okay, and background was 0. Instructions 1. Main menu 2. So that should be good. Okay. Compile, save, and let's. It will not actually go away yet because we don't have the code set up for that. So, by default, we'll keep it on visible. Go over to graph, and what we want to do is add them to our buttons. So we want to keep it visible when you click the instructions. So it goes over, it's the same image. Same as the return button, but the play button, we actually want to set this hidden as well. So get, drag off, set visibility, drag plugin into there, make it hidden. File, save, and let's click play and test this out. Okay, go to instructions, it stays there. Return, play, it goes away, and we can play our game. It's all loaded up. That's pretty cool. That is it for this video. This is just the very basics of how to set up a menu screen, instructions, and exit in your game level. The next video will go into a bit more in-depth about how to make it look a little fancier. Maybe add some animated materials in there to, spice things up a little bit. And maybe even a loading screen. So if you have a complex level, it gives the game engine time to actually load what's in the map before the player can actually see it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.